In this video we are going to see about the property list of the object inspector. The property list is this area where we can see all the properties of a control that is being selected on the form designer. It's divided into sections. The first section, or two columns, the first one is about is showing the name of the property, and the second one is showing the value for that property. Okay. You can also change the width of the columns just using this splitter here, so you can just adjust these columns to fit your needs. And also, for example, if a value is not fitting, you will see a hint, so you can for example, when clicking here, you can just change the caption. Okay. So it's a nice way for you to see all the properties and all the values of those properties. Let's see now about the different types of properties you can have. For example, let's drop an edit. The simplest property is a string type property. Let's switch this here. And for example, this is the text property, and this is a string type property. Okay, and you will get the result change on the property. This is the easiest property editor. Then you have another one, which is the for char type properties. Let's see, it's about the password char. As you can see here, is showing the symbol for char properties, and if it's set to this value, the edit control will show the contents. But if you change to any other character, for example an asterisk, it will show as a password type property. To return it back to the default value, just type that value and that's it. Okay. Then we are going to see about doubles. Let's see, there's a scroll bar here. Let's use this one. Okay, it's an FNC component. Let's do it this way. Double properties, for example, the value. As you can see, it has a different property editor in which we can see the decimal points. And this property editor, if we set the focus, the caret, on a specific number, if we increase here, it will be increasing that specific part of the number. If we place the caret here, it will increase that one. Okay, you see that the control is reflecting that position. Other types of properties is like integer, for example, the left here. It works in the same way. If we set the caret on the last number, it will increase 1 by 1, but if we set it to the second one, it will be 10 by 10, okay, and so on. It's a nice way and easy way to modify integer properties. Okay. There are another types of properties which shows a drop down. For example, this is aligned with margins, in which the editor, the property editor, is allows you to edit a Boolean property that can take values false and true. If we do it this way, you won't see any change, because this property only works when there is some alignment. Alignment is another drop-down type property. In this case, is an enumeration, which shows all the possible values that this property can take. For example, let's align this to left, and now it's aligned to left, but if we set align with margins to true, okay, now you will see that there is some margin with the parent form. So we are going to increase the margins, let's say the left, which is an integer, and the bottom, which is another integer. Okay, you see how the control is reflecting the settings of our properties. Okay. So also there are special enumeration properties or drop-down properties. In this case, for example, the char set, which shows a long list of all the char sets that are possible to use with this control. Okay. And also there is another type of property which is about sets. This is the Pascal set, in which you can set here easily all the bits for that set, and you can, I'm going just to drop this here so you can see better the reflection of or how the control updates based on the changes in the object inspector. So for example, if we increase the size, Okay, we can also change the style with this asset and set by double clicking FS bold or FS italic. Boolean properties, you can there are several ways for you to interact with it. You can double click to toggle the value. Okay, it's very easy. Or if it's editing, you just can click here on the checkbox, a single click, or you can just change the value using the drop down. Okay, these are the ways for you to interact with a Boolean property. Also, you have seen that there are properties that are nested. That is, they have like a hierarchy and they have different levels. Okay, and one of those properties is the font. That allows you. Actually, this is an object property that has these sub-properties, so you can interact with any of them independently. There are unlimited levels. That depends on the controller structure, but they can get quite complex if they are designed that way. Okay, and there is another type of nested properties. Let's drop here some other components like client. We are going to drop a client dataset and a client connection. Okay, the client dataset has a property that it's highlighted in red, and it's a drop-down property. In this case, this property is accepting web client connection type of components. So any component that is included in this form will be able to be assigned. So once you assign, this property can be expanded and contracted also. In this case, it's showing, as you see, there is a different color, is showing also the properties of the component that has been set here. So these properties that are listed here are the actual properties of the component that has been linked through the connection property. So if we change here active to true, if we go to the client dataset and drop the connection property, active is set to true because it's actually the same property. It's a nice way for you to interact with linked components, so you don't have to go back and forth in order to change properties of components that can be related. Okay. There are another types of property editors. For example, let's see the button. There is the color component is also a drop-down, which you can see all the values. For example, let's change this to navy. But also, if you double-click, you will get here a modal property editor, which allows you to set any color you want on RGB or any other method. Okay, so this is a different type of property editor. There is another one for example, for a strings type property. Let's see about the lines, for example. As you can see, this is an object of tstrings type. So you can edit the values for that property, line 1, line 2, line 3. Okay, so this is another type of property editor that you can use. And there are another types. For example, let's see the datetime picker. Datetime picker has a property called date and can be edited easily using this calendar. Okay, so it's a nice way for you to set the date and to set the value of that property. Okay, let's see about collection type properties. So let's drop a list control here. Okay, this control has a property called items, which is of type list items, which is a collection that you can edit by getting a collection editor. So you can add new items. As you can see, it's reflecting the right status, and you can select any of them in order to change the properties of that specific item. So for example, this is item 1. So as you can see, it's a nice way for you to edit this type of properties using collection editors. Okay, and that's it. I hope you like it. Thank you.